Marriott Bonvoy is the official hotel partner of US Soccer. Join Marriott Bonvoy today to get closer to the game with exclusive perks, unforgettable experiences, and benefits that go beyond the pitch. Spring Hill Suites, part of Marriott Bonvoy, offers complimentary hot breakfast and spacious all-suite accommodations, perfect for the whole team, with room for up to 6 guests. Make your next getaway a win. Learn more at springhillsuites.marriott.com.
Welcome to the Dogs Podcast with your hosts, Blake Reneker, Justin Charles, and Josh All.
Hey, what's up, Dog Pack? Welcome back to another Discord Dog Pack episode. Live here in the Discord with everybody, hanging out. Josh All, Kenny Mack hosting the preview show today. We got the Bills coming down from Buffalo to face off against our just craptastic, horrible, laughable, hilariously bad Cleveland Browns. So it'll be a fun one on Sunday, one way or another, because there are things to watch for. We do have some records in the works that certain players are aiming for. Obviously, there's the continued development and offensive quarterback play of Shedeur Sanders. What can he continue to show as an audition for next year? All that kind of stuff. We'll talk about everything here on the show. If you want to be part of these Dog Pack Discord episodes in the future, head to jointhedogs.com, become an official Dog Pack member on the Patreon page, sync up with the private Discord that gets you access to everybody in the Dog Pack community and the 24/7 conversations that go on in there. Plus, we play fantasy football every year. You get access to join those leagues. We have dynasty football, fantasy football leagues, and of course, these live shows that we're going to be doing once a week, even after the season is over, because there's going to be a lot of stuff to talk about, which I'm sure we'll dive into some of that here today on the show. Kenny, I guess before we get started, how are you doing today?
Great, man. I am looking forward to getting down to Cleveland this weekend. I will be at the game. I'm thinking there'll probably be a lot more blue than brown there this weekend, but I am going to go see Myles Garrett. I'm putting it out in the universe. I'm going to go see Myles Garrett get not one. He's going to get 2 sacks and get this record, and I'm going to be there for it. And after that, I don't care what happens this season. I'm ready for the draft. I need some new players, new philosophy. I need to see something different. Maybe Shedeur will provide that with some offensive spark. Who knows? But I just want to see Myles get his record and get it done before 16 games hit. So let's do it.
Yeah, and I think Blake said it last week on the show after the game. Like, I don't want to just be waiting until this, next week or the very last week of the season to try to get this record. Like, he was on such a strong pace. At one point, I think he was going to finish close to 30 sacks. He was on pace for at one point. Yeah. It's kind of slowed down. Obviously, we lost Malik Collins. We can't maintain the ball on offense or generate any sort of score, which means we're never playing with a lead. So it's really hard. Myles Garrett is really up against it, trying to get this sack record. So I think that's one thing people need to take into consideration when you're watching the games and you're listening to these Steeler fans online talk about how, well, TJ Watt did it in this amount of games or whatever. Look at how many pass rushing plays Myles Garrett has done this in. It's like, I need to look at the numbers and like post this on social media because I have seen it. But it's significantly fewer pass rushing plays for Myles Garrett to have these 21.5 sacks than anybody in NFL history, if I'm not mistaken. So I'll look that up and get those numbers, but that's just something to keep in mind. But Kenny, I hope you and Justin up there Sunday get to see it.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. But I mean, don't forget with Myles Garrett, too. I think he's close to, or is he? I don't have the stats in front of me, but he's somewhere high right now with tackles behind the line of scrimmage, too.
Oh, he's leading. He's like 33.
Both. That's a great nomination for, Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, I think it's somewhere in the 30s. It might be like 33 TFLs on the season. I think he's easily leading the league. You guys, if anybody in the audience here remembers the stat, I think they threw it up on the broadcast last week. I'll have to see. It might be one of the most in recent histories or recent seasons.
Yeah.
For TFLs in a season, he's already at that point. So, yeah, Myles Garrett continuing to dominate. And now he's got Josh Allen, MVP candidate, last year's MVP winner coming into town. Looks like, he's playing strong right now. The Bills are rolling toward the playoffs. And I'll tell you what, Kenny, I'm thinking, let's see, Ashton the Joker says, I think he's close to the TFL record. You know what? I'm going to look that up here next time Kenny takes over and talks for a second. I'll look that up and get those numbers. But What I want to do here, Kenny, I just want to do the preview for this game before we dive into talking Shedeur Sanders or draft or any of these other things that I'm sure you guys down here in the audience would like to talk about today, because honestly, if you've watched the last couple episodes this week that I've done, you know how I feel about this game. I didn't really even prepare anything for this preview, because what I've done all season for these preview episodes, I go and I look at the stats for the two teams, who they've played, what they're kind of trending, some of their players, to see like where can the Browns take advantage to potentially win this game, or if they're going to win this game, how's it going to happen? I'm done. I'm done doing that. I'm done doing that with this team, and I'm done doing it, especially for a game like this where I already told you guys my prediction, 41-6. I think the Bills come in here. It's another blowout at home, ugly, empty stadium by middle of third quarter. Kenny and Justin will be the only two up there. You guys can go sit wherever you want probably. I just think it's going to be bad. But so I want to talk about the game first real quick, and then we'll move on. But you got the 10-4 Buffalo Bills are coming into Cleveland to face the 3-11 Browns. I find it very difficult to imagine this team gets a fourth win this year. So I think it's a second straight 3-14 season. The Bills are 10.5 point favorites on the road. Think about that real quick. So they're 10.5 point favorites in Cleveland against a defense that earlier this season was heralded as like the best defense in the league, especially at home. And now we are 10.5 point underdogs. It's a 41.5 over under, and the Browns are plus 490 to win the game. Essentially, no chance. Like, no one's given us a shot in hell to win this game. And that's it. That's pretty much my preview of the game. Kenny, what do you think about this one?
You know what, man, I don't blame you. And man, I love getting up in front of you guys and talking, but you want to talk about something with substance. And, you know, for the effort given, for the most part, for most of these games, it is tough to, you know, get up, because our team doesn't get up for the games. So how can you get up for this, right? Ultimately, where the Bills are right now, they have an elite quarterback, something that we've wanted for so long. And the thing that's making them good is just the running game overall. I think Cook's got over 1,400 yards rushing, and that's something that we're not doing well right now. And if it's death by 1,000 paper cuts, and what I mean by that is just like 3, 4, 5 yards by James Cook, and he's just running us up. I mean, it's going to be hard for Miles to get his sack total that he wants. So, I mean, Miles, number one, we can't have you running up the field and creating these big running gap lanes and this kind of thing. Guys, Browns defense, listen to me. Please play some run defense. Get the Browns, get the Bills in third and long, and, you know, give Miles some opportunity, because he's been playing his ass off for this record. But I mean, the one, like with the Bills, what you have to do, if you look at any of their losses, they just don't seem to score over 20 points. How this defense can do it without Malik Collins, from what we've seen, I don't know, you know, but there is an opportunity after a big win for a letdown. That could be a possibility, but we would have to see a substantial amount more effort from them we saw last week. We'd have to see some preparedness. We'd have to see some gap integrity. You know, we'd have to see some receivers hold the ball through the end zone and not drop it into the lap of defensive backs. And maybe we might have a chance, but guys, just play some football. Get out there and show them why you're in the league. And that's all I'm going to say. I'm like begging right now almost, because I'm putting money down just to show up to this game, and I want to see something.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I mean, I'm obviously not paying the money and taking the time to go to the game, but I'm going to watch it. I'm going to spend my afternoon watching it. And I hate whenever I'm sitting there like, why am I doing this? Like, this sucks. And to talk about James Cook, because I think I'm glad you pointed him out. That is the key to this game, is James Cook, because he's been a freaking stud this year. He already has almost 300 carries on the year. He's got 271 carries. And this is a smaller running back. Like you said, 1,400 yards. He's got 10 touchdowns. He has games of 132 yards, 108, 117. He's got an 87, then a 216, a 114, a 116, a 144, and last week a 107 in a game where the Bills were down, what was it, 21-0? To the in New England, to the Patriots, I think they were at the time AFC leading Patriots, if I remember correctly. And they came back and won the game. They came back and won 35-31, I think. I said this earlier this week. With the way our run defense has been playing in the last 2 months, and just the pieces we've lost and the way the team just seems to quit on the field, and we get so behind in games so early, and we can never come back. 100 yards and 2 touchdowns for James Cook is my minimum. My minimum for him tomorrow or on Sunday.
Oh, I mean, it depends. Is our special teams going to give up 50 yards a kick? Because then he won't get as much yards, you know what I mean? Because the field position will be so good. I'm being sarcastic, but I mean, the other thing is that our special team, just our kickoff coverage and our punt coverage has just been awful this year. He is the key to the game and their overall running game, because Josh Allen's going to get a couple yards too. He has 12 rushing touchdowns this year, I believe. And, you know what? The Bills are very similar to the Bears, and that's why it was kind of hard, or not hard really, to prep for notes for this, because they got to do the same thing. They got to stop the run game. They got to get the Bills or the Bears, because it's the same thing, into 3rd and long, and then you got to stop the pass, and that's basically what they have to do. But I just don't see them stopping the run, and if they do somehow, because they're in Cleveland and they all of a sudden remember how to play like alpha dogs, maybe that's the thing. But I'm like you. I don't see the Browns winning another game based on the effort given and how they're playing.
No, the effort given and the way they're coached. Because I watched the way these guys open games, and it's like, okay, what did we do all week? How are we not? How do we look this unprepared to start a game every freaking week? It's infuriating. Real quick, I did want to mention, I went and looked at those stats up. So you guys in the chat, you're right. Myles Garrett, very close to the record for most TFLs in a season. He's got 32, and that's second most all time in a season. Number 1 is J.J. Watt with 39. So he's 7 away from tying, 8 away from having that record to himself.
Well, again, I mean, getting guys behind the line of scrimmage, everybody's got to have some kind of gap integrity, stay in their lanes, and he can get this record and hopefully become the defensive MVP, which will be bizarre for a team that is going to be looking at 3-14.
You mean defensive player of the year, or actually win the MVP award?
Oh, defensive MVP. Sorry. Defensive MVP.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think he'd be the MVP. Well, I mean, how much worse could we be? There'd be way more offensive players that would be ahead of just the MVP.
I was going to say, there'd be no chance there, not on a 3-14 horrible team. But we got Brad, our first person wanting to jump up here today. Again, if you guys in the audience want to come up and talk, this is going to be pretty much open the rest of the way. This game, we can talk whatever other topics you guys want to talk about, because we kind of are what we are at this point.
Yeah. First thing, prayers out to Greg Biffle's family. I know we're not really a NASCAR podcast, but that's a pretty big loss for the NASCAR world and everything. So prayers out to them first off. The second thing, let's talk about the next depressing thing, our Browns. I was looking through, history and stats and stuff. Do you know that Kevin Stefanski has had one more year than Marty Schottenheimer had?
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. They fired him.
Actually, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, Marty could have been here as long as he wanted, but Art Modell ran him out of town. So, yay, Art.
Yeah. And then I think I posted on there the other day, nobody acknowledged it, but Sam Reticulano, is that how you say his name? Yeah. He was here for about 5-6 seasons too, and had the same record as Kevin, he got fired too. So
Sam kind of had the same thing where they were the cardiac kids. They hit up the AFC Championship game, and after that, they were just a mess for 2 years. After that, I believe he got fired 2 years later.
Yeah. So, I mean, even like Colossi Sports and everything pretty much has like Kevin one of the higher percentages of being fired this offseason.
Mm-hmm.
And be it crazy thing happen where Jimmy's just like, oh, we're just going to stick with the same regime. I mean, we're definitely just going to have to, we got 3 games left. I think everybody besides a few people in the chat and around the media is kind of already looking at like the next head coach. And so, yeah, that's just kind of where we're at. I mean, if you look at the injury report, it looks like the walking wounded right now. And that's, that's just kind of where we're at. And if I was hurt and kind of like, man, 3 games left, we suck, I'm just going to sit this out and get healthy for next season. I feel it's like how some of the guys are probably already thinking, just checked out.
Sure. I mean, you look at our injury
preservation,
report.
man.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to see the last 3 games just be somewhat competitive, but like the injuries are adding up. Some players mentally might just be checked out in general. Injury checkouts. We suck. I mean, I can see where like Myles Garrett just like gets the sack record and just checks out for the last 2 games and just kind of whatever. But it's just like, here we are again, and we could be in off season where, we're looking for a head coach, maybe even looking for a quarterback. It's just, we're back into the cycle again, boys. And it's just, I'm excited for the off seasons because hopefully we can rebuild this thing and fix it. But, what throws a wrench into things is you never know, like, what coaching regime we're going to get after we fire Kevin, what their philosophy on quarterback play, what quarterback they want. You don't know if Andrew Berry is going to be here or if he's going to get promoted and another GM is going to, I don't know. I don't know that situation. But there's just a lot of things up in the air, and it's just,
Oh, yeah. Well, I was going to ask you while you're up here, too. First of all, let me just say to everybody who's in the audience here, and then just everybody listening after the fact, going forward, I don't think there's a wrong way to feel about this whole thing. And I said that earlier this week, too. Like, if you're in the camp of get rid of everybody, front office, coaching staff, go all new, I don't think like your reasons for that are valid. I don't even need to hear them. I know they're valid. And at the same time, if you're like, no, let's run it one more year with AB or with Kevin or with both. I mean, I don't need to hear your reasons either. Like, they're valid. There are reasons to go either way with this. You guys know how I feel, but Brad, how do you feel? What would you do if you were in charge of, this whole operation?
If I was the president or owner of this organization currently, I would keep Andrew Berry.
Okay.
And maybe some of the front office people. I would get rid of the 9 employed people we have for analytics that don't do anything right now. But like, I would keep him just for stability purposes because he's been with the scout team all year scouting for next year. I think if you put another GM in this offseason, it'll basically ruin what they were trying to build on. And then I would do a hardcore coach search and really search for that guy that doesn't only elevate players, but also like is a coach of men and, brings passion, brings a lot of things to help this team turn the corner again, be a locker room guy. And, and I do respect Kevin in the aspect of like, he's an even kill guy, but like that only plays so well when you do that just in general and don't like, push your guys to the next level and, make them accountable for their mistakes or make your coordinators. And that's been the problem with Kevin is he's not accountable for his coordinators failing him or having subpar play on the field. And that's my big thing on Kevin that I want him gone is because he just doesn't let people go that are giving subpar coaching. I mean, when you're in a job and you're doing subpar work constantly, you get fired. It's just that's just the business of things.
Well, it's performance based business too. NFL, it's entertainment, performance, and that's it. If you're not performing and being entertaining, then there's no use for you. And it's cutthroat, but that's just the way it is. And do you guys remember the article that was written I think it was after last season wrapped up? Some anonymous Browns players, like was it Jason Lloyd? I can't remember who wrote the piece, but there was comments in there from players about how certain quarterbacks, aka Deshaun Watson, were not being criticized for things in the film room because of whatever, like they didn't want to go down that route or whatever. So like when they were watching film, they wouldn't. Basically what you're saying, they're not holding people accountable. And you can see it on the field. I mean, we make the same stupid mistakes all the time. How many punts is Gage Larvidan going to screw up one way or another? Just either muffing it or trying to touch it when he shouldn't, just doing stupid things, and it's just mind-boggling.
This episode is sponsored by Baden Sports. Browns fans, we have had Christmas decorated all over the place since November 1st. That's right. It is coming up very quickly, Christmas time. And the best thing you can do is get ahead of your gift giving list and go to badensports.com/dogs, DAWGS, and check out everything they have to offer and use promo code DOGS to get 10% off your entire order. You could find some really nice Christmas gifts for the athletes in your life. Obviously, baseball season would be right around the corner in the spring. They've got training balls. They've got regular game baseballs, bats, baseball gloves, all sorts of basketballs and other gear, pumps, ball bags, gym bags, things like that for your basketball players. And then the gifts that I really like to give family members and people like that would be the backyard games. Get those for Christmas gifts because then they can hold on to those and break them out when the weather gets nice. And it's like that Christmas gift that didn't get used right away at Christmas and they get to experience that joy again later in the year. Badminton, outdoor volleyball, bocce, horseshoes, kickball. They've got a knockout game set. And of course, pickleball, which I know I've been saying on here I need to learn how to play. I haven't yet, but I do plan to learn at some point, and I will be getting my first pickleball set from Baden Sports. So head over to badensports.com/dogs and get 10% off your entire order with promo code DOGS, DAWGS, when you check out. That's Baden Sports, BADEN sports.com/dogs.
Marriott Bonvoy is the official hotel partner of US Soccer. Join Marriott Bonvoy today to get closer to the game with exclusive perks, unforgettable experiences, and benefits that go beyond the pitch. Spring Hill Suites, part of Marriott Bonvoy, offers complimentary hot breakfast and spacious all-suite accommodations, perfect for the whole team, with room for up to 6 guests. Make your next getaway a win. Learn more at springhillsuites.marriott.com.
Hey, this is Steve Gorman, radio host, sports commentator, former drummer for the Black Crowes. The winter holidays are here, a time for festive celebrations, family gatherings, and ringing in the new year. Whether it's a holiday party, a night out with friends, or just relaxing by the fire with a few drinks, it's a season full of good cheer. But here's something else to add to your holiday plans, a safe and sober ride home. Just like in sports and music, always have a game plan. And the most important part of any plan is sticking to it. If you plan to drink, take that plan a step further. Call a rideshare, a taxi, a sober friend, or have a designated driver lined up before the night begins. Drinking and driving is a decision that can change your life and the lives of others forever. A DUI, a crash, an injury. The consequences are real and lasting. So please, for your sake and for everyone else on the road, make the smart choice. Get a sober ride home. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
It's super tough with him with that kind of stuff, and that's where you kind of. It's why there's such a rudderless ship right now. Stefanski just. Like he should have fired Andy Dickerson last year,
Yes,
how long
yes.
how long the Prefer, like way too long. We're holding on to Bubba Vetrone way too long.
Joe Woods,
and Joe Woods. Thank you. That's another one. And it's just this never ending cycle of, not being held accountable. And like, it's the biggest thing that happens in business. It needs to happen in pro sports, which is a business. And, that's not happening. And, one thing I'd like to hear though, from Brad though, is like, who would be the coach to replace it? Because one thing that drives me nuts, there's a lot of guys that's called for Stefanski since he went 7-9 4 years ago, right? Or 5 years ago. But nobody has a candidate. What's your number one candidate, or what's somebody off the top of your head if you haven't really researched it well?
So I've been back and forth on my top candidates. After researching, but like I think I'm kind of tied, and they're both on the Rams, by the way. Is Chris Shula and Mike LaFleur.
Yep.
Those two are my like top two. Another one, and I know it's kind of like okay, maybe not, but like just hear me out kind of thing. Another one maybe is, and you got to look at the stats and everything and how his coaching career kind of got cut short with the Jets, is Robert Saleh. Now,
I might not be there on him yet, but I'm not going to say, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what he learned in his firing to make him better, but it's not to say that coaches can't be better. And what is he taking from his second stint with San Fran right now, and what can he move forward? But I think I've said this before, they won't let me in the room during interviews, so I'm unsure of him. But give me what you think and why.
So I like Chris Shula for the fact of obviously his bloodline. Coach as well. He's done a really good job with that defense. We haven't. I know like we're kind of like sometimes against like the defensive minded coaches coming in here. That's why, Robert Saleh is one of them. But I've seen success with them as long as they bring a good offensive coordinator. And I think him being under Sean McVay would, at least he's learned that. And the same with, Mike LaFleur. I mean, obviously his brother does really well in Green Bay. I mean, Green Bay is having a come to Jesus moment with all their injuries, but it is, you can't,
it happens.
avoid
it's the
injuries.
NFL. Yep.
So
the last 4 out of 5 coaches that we had were offensive, right? We had Shermer, then we had Pettin, then we had Hugh Jackson, and the cup of coffee with Kitchens, and then it would have been our guy Stefanski right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so maybe they do go defense. I don't know.
And
the guys, one thing that I've kind of read on the net, like, what do you guys think about Bill Belichick? And I'm not saying I'm pounding the table for him, but things aren't going well in Chapel Hill. There's 3 teams he might coach for, but I don't see that one happening. People are pounding the table for Jim Schwartz. I wouldn't be comfortable with that unless it's Schwartz is like a guy that's he's the head coach and he does not touch the offense whatsoever. You have like the Callahans come in or something like that, and that they run it and he does his own thing. And then the other guy is John Gruden. And I'm talking all about recycled coaches, because all the coaches that I mentioned previously, those guys are all first-year coaches.
Yeah.
They needed to learn how to do things. They made a lot of mistakes. Look at Stefanski. There's times that guy should have kicked a field goal, and we would have probably been better off at into the game more than we were, right? Or there's some stupid fourth down conversion or whatever it is. Would these guys circumvent that? Who knows? They might be too old. The game might have passed them by. Like, who knows? But that's why I'm kind of like figuring, like, where's everybody's mind at? I think you can tell by the type of coach, maybe where the person who thinks that coach should be here is in life, maybe. But I think it's interesting that everybody wants him fired, but doesn't have a solution.
Well, so here's the thing I would caution, and I'm not saying it's not a good route to go. If you want to go the defensive coordinator, head coach route, the thing with that is, like you said, they got to be able to bring in a good offensive coordinator for the offense. And the problem with having a defensive head coach on the offensive side of the ball is if your offensive coordinator comes in and does a good job, they're getting hired for a head coaching opportunity next year or the year after or something like that. You're going to lose them. You're going to lose your Ben Johnson. Buffalo's going to lose their Joe Brady, who I would consider as a candidate for this season. You're going to lose your Clint Kubiak up in Seattle if you're Mike McDonald because of the job that they're doing. So if you get the offensive head coach, now on the positive side, you've got the offensive system for that head coach, and it's there. As long as he's there, it's there, and you're good to go. The problem is if the offensive system starts to suck, like Kevin Stefanski's, and doesn't adapt, doesn't change, gets figured out, now you're stuck in a hole. And you can't do anything either because now you got the offensive head coach and his offense, and it ain't no good. So it is really touchy. I do think I see people say like there's no candidates in this coaching. There will be candidates. There will be guys come out of this coaching cycle to be successful NFL coaches. I don't know if anybody really thought Mike McDaniel or McDonald was going to have the success in Seattle that he's having right away and that kind of stuff. Like there are guys that are going to get jobs and it's going to be like, oh, that was a good candidate. So they're out there. They will be out there.
Who do you guys think is this year's Ben Johnson then? Because
that's the thing. Like
the show,
Ben Johnson is a unique thing, man. Like there's no like this guy's been sought after for the last 3 years or whatever. There is not that guy.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about Clint Kubiak? He's been kind of kicking around. Here's what I like. He's got Jackson Smith and Njigba cooking. What if he comes in here, grabs Tate like we want, grabs an offensive tackle, and then, you're going to sign a veteran receiver. Maybe there's one off of Seattle or somebody he's familiar with in previous stints. And, he drafts one and gets this offense going. Maybe the Callahans would want to come and work for him too. They're all kind of on the same page. And I think that would be as close as you could get to Ben Johnson. And I only brought up the defensive side just kind of as a devil's advocate and for what I'm reading. I don't want a defensive coach. I want offense. I want to see offense. I think the Browns, like I made the point, they've hired 4 offensive minds for head coaching position in the last 5 hires because we're starved for offensive success, and we haven't seen much other than when Nick Chubb was here and making things look better than maybe they were.
Yeah, so if you do Clint Kubiak, I like that idea, Kenny, because I don't know if he signed a long-term deal. I'd have to look that up, but Rashid Shaheed just opted to get traded from the Saints to Seattle before the trade deadline because of Clint Kubiak.
Good point.
So if you hired Kubiak as your head coach, there's a chance maybe you get your hands on a Rashid Shaheed to go along with your, hopefully, Carnell Tate, and you can kind of revamp this wide receiver core a little bit because it is bad. It is league bottom bad right now.
Dude, I don't want to keep anybody other than Bond's got some potential.
Right. Brad, is there anything else before we see if anyone else wants to jump up here?
The only thing I'm going to say is don't expect anything amazing on Sunday because it's probably going to be awful. And it's just going to – and I give a lot of kudos to Kenny to go to the game just to watch Miles. But offensively, brother, it's going to be rough. All I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, you know what? I don't get the craft beer that I can get there. So I'm going to really enjoy those craft beers at the game.
Yeah.
I'm going to get me a bratwurst too.
There you go. See, there's always things to look forward to. I mean, if you just put your head in the right spot for these situations. Real quick in the chat.
Change your paradigm, man.
That's right. Ashton the Joker in the chat says, Kevin is if things are going well, he can keep that boat afloat. But he can't be the head coach of a build this team up, get the ball rolling, lay a solid foundation type of team. I agree. And my thing with Kevin Stefanski is like, the last 2 years he's had to turn over play calling duties to Ken Dorsey and now Tommy Rees. He's hired offensive coordinator. Last year it was Ken Dorsey to come in and revamp the offense. This year it was Tommy Rees to come in and add some wrinkles to the offense or whatever terminology we were told and all that kind of stuff. You've handed over play calling duties 2 years in a row. what do you bring to the team? If you're not bringing a strong, solid, successful offense to the team anymore, and you're not bringing any sort of player development over these last 6 years that we can point to, and you're not bringing discipline to the games, you're not bringing good game management, clock management, in-game decision making, all that kind of stuff. What do you bring to the table? And I like Kevin as a guy, and I appreciate and respect what he's done in the past with the Browns. But that's over. That's gone. And it's just, I feel like he offers no value right now to this team. And that's why I just think he's got to go. I think everybody, the whole coaching staff at the very minimum has to go, because Jim Schwartz, I don't want anybody who's associated with this losing culture right now that we've had these last 2 years. I want them all gone.
Yeah, I find it tough too. But I mean, I was reading an article from Dan Graziano, and I think he's pretty connected. He's got 10 coaches, and in his coaching, like, he's got number one, he's got Vance Joseph. He's got some guys we're speaking about. He's got Joe Brady in there, who we're going to be seeing this Sunday. Yep. Jesse Minter. He's got Clint Kubiak in there. But he listed 9 out of his 10, and then as his 10th, he said it could go anywhere, and it's Kevin Stefanski. And he equates Kevin Stefanski to, if he is available, that he could jump any one of the candidates that he mentions in his article, and he would jump in short order, so similar to what Andy Reid did when he ended his tenure in Philadelphia. And I find that hard to believe based on the tape that's out there on the games in the last, let's say, 2 seasons. I know the season's not done yet. Based on what you were just saying. The other flip side, though, you guys have heard me talk about this before. Ever since the previous season started, so 2024, if I was Kevin Stefanski, I'd want to throw my card in to quit, because the stuff that I was given on offense to deal with, like, why would I want to deal with that? Why would I want to deal and redo everything with all these rookies that made the team? And I'm coming in this year, I'm drafting two rookie quarterbacks. Well, if you draft 2 rookie quarterbacks, that means we're going to see 2 more quarterbacks this year. Plus, we started Joe Flacco. So we were talking earlier, about 15 minutes ago, about the same old Browns. Well, what have we seen every year? We've seen 2-3 quarterbacks every year. The defense is tired because we can't get an offense going, because we never got anything going because of the 2 quarterbacks. Of the 3 quarterbacks, 2 didn't really play that much in the preseason or get enough snaps. So we're in the same cyclic Browns football mentality where it's always the next guy up. We just got to stick to a guy, and we got to, make this work somehow, because it's just super frustrating.
Yeah, for sure. And, I think Kevin Stefanski he owes Joe Flacco a lot for helping him get that second head coach of the year award. A lot of these analysts that have Kevin Stefanski as one of the top coaching candidates if he gets fired and all that kind of stuff, they're hanging their hat too on that. Well, this is a former 2-time coach of the year. I don't care about that anymore. That has done nothing for this team the last 3 years. I don't care about 2 head coaches or, a year, head coach of the year award. Sorry, I can't even get it out of my mouth. I don't care because it's been 4 losing seasons in 6 years. 2023 was on the trajectory to be a losing season until Joe Flacco came in and we got hot. And then we saw how that went in the playoffs, got absolutely obliterated by a defense that knew our plays because we're that predictable, because this offense sucks, because he's not a good offensive coach anymore. Just is what it is, in my opinion. But does anybody in the audience now want to jump up here? We could keep talking about the coaching stuff. We could talk about Shedeur Sanders, the drafts. What was it? Tony Rizzo yesterday, ESPN Cleveland said, from what he's hearing, the Browns are leaning toward drafting a quarterback in April. And then, like last week, Mary Kay said that she thinks the Browns are trending towards sticking with Shedeur Sanders. And then, like the next day or the same day, she said, if I were in charge, I would draft another quarterback in the first round. And now today she comes out on 92.3 The Fan and she's saying that they're going to draft a quarterback, or that she thinks they should keep Kevin, but get him a new quarterback next year. So Cleveland media is all over the place. They don't know what they even think or want. So what do you guys think?
It's hard to know because you can't really see anything, especially like when the last game of last week lingers in your mind. I mean, man, when you posted the one, what was it? The DVOA post. That was like super frustrating. That was the 11th worst game that has ever been played. Like the 11th worst offensive output since 1978. And man, like you can't even take anything away that because the Browns played so bad last week. It didn't even give the quarterback a chance to win. I think there was an 8% of the plays were considered good. Like that's so frustrating when that sits on your mind. Then you're like, you can't really think of anything else or what you can do or what can you do to get out of it other than you just go, let's just restart. We've been there, done that. That hasn't worked out. Tanking hasn't worked out. So man, what do you do?
Yeah. And I see a lot of comments on our social media posts and on YouTube and stuff where people will say, well, I think you guys should get rid of Kevin and I think you should keep Andrew Berry. And I can always tell when it's either like a Shador fan that's new to the fan base or just a new Browns fan in general who just started paying attention because they're like, well, you guys should definitely keep Andrew Berry. He had the best draft class in the league last year. And I'm like, go look at the last 5 drafts that he's done before this year and tell me if you still feel the same way because they were bad.
Yeah,
we've had a couple starting players out of those drafts, and that's pretty much it. Like a lot of the guys never stuck around. We've cut them, traded them, whatever, and that's why the team is like so bad right now. Yeah,
like
there's
falling off a cliff, like not playing. Like look at Sayaki Ika. Like I was pumped for that pick. Yeah. Awful. Like there was like the Schwartz pick was a head scratcher. Remember when we drafted DTR? We were all like, what is this? Like,
yep, what are you doing?
It doesn't even fit like the style of football that we play in the AFC North.
No, and that was right after we had Deshaun Watson, and that was back in heading into 2023. And it's like, you got this guy you just traded all this draft capital for. Why are you using another pick on a rookie quarterback? Like just sign a free agent to be the backup or whatever. Like we already had, who was it? Josh Dobbs. It made no sense. The decision making in this organization just frustrates the crap out of me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you want offensive football. You need receivers. And when's the last time that we drafted one? We traded a 2nd round pick for Elijah Moore, and that didn't go anywhere. And we're so bad on the receiver end this year that Elijah Moore got cut at the Buffalo Bills. And he went to go play for Kansas City. They've got a glut of receivers.
Yeah.
He would at least get playing time here. He knows what they're trying to do. He's like, I ain't going to Cleveland. I ain't getting the ball.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like you look at the wide receiver room for the Browns, and I'm sure a lot of people out there that don't follow the team closely like we all do are saying like, how can this be so bad? It's been this bad. We cannot evaluate wide receiver talent. Donovan Peoples-Jones was our number 2 receiver and acting as our de facto 1 at some points for a couple years, and he was a 6th round pick. You got the only move that Andrew Berry has made at wide receiver that's been any good or provided any benefit was Amari Cooper. Got Amari Cooper for like a 5th round pick. Gave us 2 solid years. The only receiver, I think, in Browns history to ever have back-to-back 1,000+ yard receiving seasons, all that stuff. And then he fell off a cliff. But then then he swung on Jerry Jeudy and gave him a bunch of money. Now we're stuck with Judy's contract because can't get out from under that one for a couple years, and he sucks. And everybody he drafts sucks. Cedric Tillman can't play. It's just,
yeah, can't even stay on the field. I mean, you just brought up the point there. It'll come back to me, but keep going. Sorry.
Yeah. So Ashton says, I pray we end up with the top pick, whether we trade down or take Mendoza. I don't think we can go wrong with an asset like that. I agree. I mean, obviously, if we had the number 1 overall pick, you could do whatever you want to do with that. You could say, we're investing in Mendoza and that's going to be our guy. Or I don't know, maybe by the time the draft rolls around, maybe Dante Moore jumps up in people's ranks to them. I don't know how it's going to go. He might go back. Who knows? Or you could trade it. Yeah, you could trade down to 2 or 3 and still stay in the top 3, get whoever you want. Then you could trade down again, hell, if you wanted to go 4 or 5 if you wanted to try to get your top receiver and then really start picking up draft capital. I think there would be half the
fan base and get another defensive tackle.
Yeah, that's what we need.
The best defense in the world.
Another defensive tackle that we suck up the middle. Imagine that. top 5 pick, and we can't stop the run. Gotta love it. Sorry, Mason Graham. Just is what it is, buddy. Yeah, but yeah, so you're going to have half the fan base mad that we're not using that pick to take the freaking quarterback and fix the problem. Then you're going to have half the fan base mad that we're, sticking with or not sticking with Shedeur Sanders and just accumulating draft capital. So Brad's got his hand up. I guess we'll bring Brad back up. Nobody else wants to talk today, guys. What's going on here? Nate, I see you in the chat. Nate is the greatest. We've got a Dynasty semifinal matchup this week. So, that's in Brad's league, actually. Brad's the commissioner of that league. Nate, and me and Nate are head-to-head this week. So good luck, buddy, and I hope you lose.
You mean the league where my team completely fell apart? Got it. My own league, my team completely fell apart.
Hey, that happens, man. Just because it's your league doesn't always mean you're going to be the top dog. I got some leagues I commission where it's just like, I don't know what to do this week. I can't play this guy. It sucks. So what's up? What do you got on your mind now?
So my 2 scenarios for the draft coming up. My first scenario is, and I know some people will be mad and some people won't, and especially Gage and Jordan. My first scenario is we trade for Mac Jones, and then whatever pick we got to give for Mac Jones, it shouldn't be a first or a second. It should be like a 3rd rounder, maybe at tops. Yeah. Trade for him, bring him in, keep the quarterbacks we have, and then use the rest of the draft and the free agency, fix the line, draft wide receivers, and bring some talent back to this team. Scenario 2 is we draft a quarterback with our first overall pick and just draft some line and get a wide receiver in the free agency. That's the 2 scenarios I have.
Well, when people say that stuff, and I know you're not saying it, but just for anybody listening, I hear a lot of people say, well, just draft line, or just accumulate picks, and then you can just build up the talent. You got to hit on the picks. And we know this as Browns fans, but for anybody new, like, just draft O-line could be James Hudson. Could be Zach Zinter, who can't get on the field. Jedrick Wills. Yeah, I mean, we don't exactly have a good track record of using our picks. Yeah, everybody new to the fan base is like, man, that 2025 class sure does look good. That's the best class in the league this year, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it looks really great. But that's about it, man. Like, if you go back and look at the history, it's not pretty. So that's where I'm a little more pessimistic about the draft scenarios, because I'm like, I mean, is Andrew Berry in this front office, what are they? Are they the 2025 draft, or are they 2020 through 24? Who are you?
Yeah.
This episode is sponsored by Omaha Steaks. Browns fans, your time is tick-tocking away. 1 week left until Christmas. And if you're waiting till the last minute to get gifts for people, Omaha Steaks has you covered like they always have me covered. I get Omaha Steaks for everybody in my family every year, and you should too. From effortless holiday hosting to unforgettable gifts, Omaha Steaks delivers the world's best steak experience. And right now, shop this season's top gourmet gifts at omahasteaks.com. Plus, our listeners get an extra $35 off with promo code BARK at checkout. Omaha Steaks, they just have some of the best food all around. I mean, the steak, the meat, the burgers and stuff like that, it's all good. But they've got sides and appetizers and the best desserts. They've even got wine and things. They've got everything you could ask for this holiday season. So save big on gourmet gifts and more holiday favorites with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com, and for an extra $35 off, use code BARK at checkout. Terms apply. See site for details. That's omahasteaks.com, promo code BARK. Merry Christmas, everybody. This episode is sponsored by Kalshi. Browns fans, are you ready to put your money where your predictions are? With Kalshi, America's #1 regulated prediction market, you can legally trade on events that actually matter to you. And the best part is you don't need to predict specific stat lines and compile a 7-leg parlay just to win big. With Kalshi, the objective is either yes or no. Will the Browns win their game this week? Will Quinshon Judkins score a touchdown? Will Carson Schlesinger win Defensive Rookie of the Year? You can put your money on these predictions and more with Kalshi. If you want to try it out, all you have to do is sign up at kalshi.com/dogs. That's KALSHI.com SHI.com/dogs, DAWGS, and trade $100. Get away from disadvantageous sportsbooks and dive into real-world outcomes with real-time odds and real payouts. Head over to Kalshi.com/dogs or click the link in the description to get $20 when you trade $100 with Kalshi. Because why shouldn't you get paid for being right?
And I think in the group, I've probably been the most pessimistic about Barry. Even when we did the draft this year, I know like Blake was down to me because I like the grade I gave the draft initially until I did some research. But like, I don't know, I think this is because I went into that draft already pessimistic about Barry's ability to get playmakers on this team, minus a few trades he did.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, drafting wise, I mean, besides just take out the defense players. What other players has he really brought in here that has done anything to help this team succeed for the future? Besides this year. Obviously, this year he hit. But before that, he hit a nobody. I mean, we had like a higher second or third round pick that we traded for Elijah Moore. That worked out real well.
Remember, it was Elijah Moore and the pick that turned into Cedric Tillman. So still didn't work out, but he took 2 shots with that pick and got nothing for it.
And
it's a terrible track record with offensive players in the draft. Like, we just haven't hit on anything. And I'm not talking about this year. I'm talking previous years. And I mean, he would have hit on JOK, but again, that's not an offensive player. He would have hit on Alex Wright. He's pretty good. I mean, what he got out of Emerson is good. But I mean, I'd be really pressing after that.
Yeah. I mean, the only offensive line player he may have hit on is Luke
Whippler. Yep.
Whippler. But he hasn't been on the field enough to see what we got in him.
No, but I do like what I've seen.
Yeah.
I do think he's got potential to at least be a good depth piece on the interior for the future. Next year, I guess, would be his last year on his rookie deal, but maybe he could be our starting center. I mean, he's kind of in that middle ground right now where he could be good enough to be the starter, or he could just be good enough to be the backup moving forward. But either way, I like what I've seen.
And I give a little grace to Dwan Jones because of his injuries.
Right.
But when Dwan is in there, he's a pretty serviceable lineman.
Yep.
I wouldn't say he's like, Worf or any of the great linemen in the NFL, but he's serviceable. Probably better than Jed Wills.
I think if they were able to get him back on the right side next year and he could stay healthy, maybe we got a good right tackle, good starting right tackle. I don't think they need to. I think they need to cut out try to put him at left tackle nonsense. Like, I know you got Jack Conklin right now. You're not going to next year. Put DeJuan back where he's comfortable.
Yeah.
And I just don't know. DeJuan can't stay healthy. I mean, maybe you make him your swing tackle and he's a valuable backup. And I mean, I don't think anybody strives for that to be backup. But man, like, show me a season that he can last more than 6 games.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So
same as our supposedly quarterback one that's collecting a paycheck sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
So,
and that's part of his history as well. So K-Dog here in the chat says, tell me what GM hits on every pick. None. We've said that a million times. Like, that is totally nobody says that Andrew Berry has to hit on every single pick. But when you go draft after draft after draft, accumulating nobody that can contribute, like, the thing is, okay, so I know we gave up first round picks for Deshaun Watson. We gave up like a second round pick in that trade too and all that kind of stuff. But at the 4th round and on, you should be trying to draft guys that you think, okay, this guy has a chance to develop maybe into a starter or a good rotational piece, but at the very least, I'm getting my special teams units built here. And we've gotten nobody to even contribute there. Like, back in 2020, I mean, just to go to Kenny's point on the offense side of the ball, like, he took Harrison Bryant. That never worked out for anything. The next year, I mean, we don't take any offensive players early. It was Anthony Schwartz, I think, was the only offensive player we took. Oh, Demetric Felton later in the draft was a total nothing. The year after that, it was David Bell, who never did anything, Jerome Ford, who sucks, Michael Woods, who was just a nothing throwaway pick. The year after that, Cedric Tillman, again, and then DeJuan Jones was a pick that looked promising, but then in the 5th round, they take DTR. It's like, what else could you have gotten instead of a backup rookie quarterback that was on your team for a year and a half or whatever it was? Like, that made no sense. And now this year we go and we use 2 picks on 2 more quarterbacks. Like, at some point, you got to start drafting depth for other positions and quit taking throwaway picks at quarterback, because you're really not likely, take the names away, you're not likely to get your starting quarterback in the 3rd or 5th round. I understand Shedeur Sanders could be and looks like he might be an exception to this, but in general, the Dylan Gabriel pick just continues to baffle me.
I had to watch highlights. I had to watch highlights of Dylan Gabriel because I actually didn't see him complete long passes in college. But I really was scratching my head after the first couple of games. I'm like, why can't this ball go any farther than the line of scrimmage? Like, maybe, can we throw a slant in there or something? And looking back, I mean, he definitely can throw the ball, but it just doesn't have it for the NFL game. I mean, man, watching Shedeur at least get these long passes has been great. We're going to get something other than that as well. But I think he's got great timing for the short pass, the screen pass. I think it's something you can build around. But, I mean, time will tell. Let's see what he's got these last 3 games.
Yep. All right, Brad, anything else real quick? Because I'm going to you can ask one more thing or give another take here real quick, and then I want to get Nate up here. And then we got about 10 minutes till we wrap up. So we'll get Nate up here, and then any last stragglers who want to come up here can get your hands up.
My take on Andrew Berry overall is he's been a serviceable GM, unlike the ones we've had before. Serviceable, though, doesn't win you championships. That's all I'm going to say.
It's fair.
But if out of everybody we fire and we keep Andrew Berry, I'd be okay with it. But at the same time, if we bomb another draft and we still have him here, I'll be like, well, I guess I was wrong on that. But I'm just hoping that, with Paul DePodesta gone and some other people gone, probably, that Barry can just focus on drafting for football and not analytics nonsense. So we'll see.
Maybe the way that he runs the cap will buy him another year to get Deshaun Watson. Maybe he's stuck here till Deshaun Watson's off the books. Who knows?
Maybe. And I would just remind everybody too, before we go into this draft with 2 first-round picks this year, remember, Andrew Berry has made 3 first-round picks in 6 years. It was Jed Wills. That didn't pan out to much. Greg Newsome, we saw how that, he was okay while he was here, but didn't turn into a long-term, second contract type player. And now we got Mason Graham, who I like and has shown flashes, but at the same time, like I mentioned earlier, we're still getting gashed up the middle every game, almost every play. So I don't know. I still have I'm waiting to see Mason Graham really turn into the dominant player that he needs to be worthy of that top 5 pick. But we got Natest the Greatest on the stage. What's up, buddy?
What's going on, guys?
Nate Dog, how you doing, buddy? Are you hitting up the Cavs game this week or what?
I don't think I'm going to make it to the Cavs game this week, but I might try to get up sometime here in the next month or so. But
gotcha. I
girlfriend's got work, so I don't think I'm going to make it up.
Okay. So we were talking. Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I might see if we can work something out, but not 100% sure yet. Got the Browns Christmas tree all done.
That looks awesome, man.
Yeah, that looks nice. Awesome, dude.
Yeah, it took a while, but it's all done. But my view on the whole GM and coach thing is, I don't think we're going to make any moves at coach or GM until the Deshaun Watson contract is off the table, simply because it gives you the ability to actually upgrade. If you're going to try to replace everybody now when we're still dealing with a lot of the other stuff, including how Barry does his contracts, it's going to be really hard for any GM or any coach to come in and do something different while getting out from under that. If you're really going to get out from under it and be functional, in my opinion, I think we have to wait another year before we make any changes at coach or GM. However, I do think the biggest need is an offensive coordinator, because our offense has been hot garbage for a long time. Long time.
It sure has. And I know the way that Andrew
couldn't
Berry...
agree with you more on... Oh, go ahead.
I was say the way he structures the contracts, I know that's been... I talked about this the other day on the show. That's beneficial when you do it with the right players. But now he's got a track record of doing it with the wrong players. Like, we're still paying guys like John Johnson and Juan Thornhill and these guys in free agency that he gives these contracts to. Bad decisions, so I'm afraid, at what point do the bad decisions either continue to compound and just make it worse, or will they stop compounding and he actually starts giving these contracts to the right players?
Well, and we touched on this last week too. Like we said this last week as well. Like, who do you think really wants to come here and deal with this Deshaun Watson mess, and not like the optics of it, like the mess of the salary cap? Like, who wants to deal with that? You got this guy, you want to develop Shedeur, let's say. You get a guy that's bought Shedeur, but you got this guy that's worth $70 million sitting on your bench. Like, what do you do? And you look at, if you're a coach, you want to come in, like, generally people want a fast turnaround, right? So there's something not working on the team. You probably have the quarterback in place. You probably have a stud receiver. And there's probably some holes on the offensive line. We have like no offensive line. And like, I'm taking a look at the free agents right now. They're all free agents. You got to attract an entire offensive line to protect for the guy that you want to make look good, whether it's Shedeur or Deshaun, because you're probably stuck with those two. Because are you really going to get Mendoza? Then you got Shedeur, who you invested 2 assets in, which maybe it doesn't matter. It's a small contract and you just eat it and get rid of them. But then you still have Deshaun Watson sitting there. Right. And then you got to develop these guys. How are you going to do it? With what receivers do we have? And you got to look at this and like, well, who can I all get in? Like, it seems like a lot of work, in the first year, but I just don't find it very attractive. And that's where I totally agree with you, where he probably would stay. But I'm sitting with Josh now going, I don't know if I can handle another year of this. You know what I mean?
I think we're probably, like, if they were to play it how I would play it to give them more options, is this year, don't sign any long-term free agents, nobody over like 2 years, because it gives you the ability to free up your cap in the future. And then on top of that, draft either skill linemen and skill positions and defensive players of need and like the things that you need to build around a quarterback. Because we don't have to go all in on a quarterback right now. I mean, if Mendoza's sitting there at a top pick and like it's not a huge deal, then take it. But don't trade up for a quarterback when you're going to put him in a position where he can't succeed even if he's good. Like, your better bet is to take and build the team, even if we have shit quarterback play and terrible offense and terrible this for like a couple years in a row. We have the ability to get out from under it, as compared to if we invest, like, let's say we trade both first round picks for a quarterback this year. Well, we don't have anything to build with, as compared to if we just build around the needs that we have, which is offensive line and, maybe a wide receiver and things like that. Then it gives you the ability to say, okay, next year we can either go quarterback or we can sign a veteran or we can do this, because we have the cap ability to actually function in the offseason, as compared to just having to like move cap. Because right now we don't actually like clear cap. We simply move it down the road and allow the cap to expand. Like, we're not actually clearing our cap. Mm-hmm. So like, it's something that the Saints have needed to do for years, and they won't do it. And we see where it gets them. Like, the Saints are still in the same position. Since Drew Brees retired, nothing's changed. They just roll the cap and roll the cap and roll the cap and roll the cap, and it gets them nowhere. Like, I think we should just take and probably be bad next year and be okay with that, because it gives you the foundation to build, as compared to cutting yourself down at the knees every year and expecting to like get better. I would rather just, suck for a year, because we've already done it. We know what it's like. Like, it's nothing new. It's not like it's some, it's not like the Steelers, where every Steelers fan would be, picket torches in the streets if they go 4 wins. Like, it's a little different here. It
is, but also think about that for just a second. So if you're saying keep the coaching staff in the front office, and then you have, let's say it's 3 straight 3-14 seasons. You think Kevin Stefanski's getting called like a lame duck coach now? How's it going to be next year when it's like, well, now I'm in the midst of another.
Here's the thing though. Next year we could have a different GM and a different coach, and we would be able to attract a new like pool of coaches and GMs, because if we draft positions of need as compared to a quarterback, it gives them something more to build around, and it clears the cap, and it gives them another year to where we could just scrub the entire slate clean. Because I don't see another GM doing contracts the exact same way as Andrew Barry. And if they are, it'll be a relatively similar situation anyway. So we probably need to just ride out another year. And then if they want to do not a full rebuild, but like a coaching rebuild, like that would probably be the best time in terms of like attracting actually good coaches and GMs.
But either way you look at it, it's not good. Like, we are just not in a great situation at all.
Dude, like, yeah, if you're talking about another 3-14 season, man, I'd stick my head in the ground or something. I don't know. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
I can't take this anymore.
And I've heard people talk about...
I want to see some winning.
Yeah,
I'm not excited either. I just don't want to do what the Saints do, which is just they kick the can and kick the can and kick the can, and it doesn't go anywhere. Like, I think we could set ourselves up to be not only cap compliant, but we could be sitting in a situation like the Patriots, where they had a high draft pick and they had the most available cap in football, and they had barely any large contracts on the books. So we would still have Miles, and we would have, a couple like not quite as massive contracts, but from like a cap position management situation, any GM would look at that and, be grinning ear to ear.
Yeah.
Especially because they'd have all their picks. They would have high picks, and they would have all of their picks.
And to go kind of back,
we got 11 picks this year, so we're not
using all 11 picks.
We got lots of void to fill.
I would have no issue with taking 3 offensive linemen right out the gate, personally. Like, I wouldn't have any issue with that. As much as we need wide receivers and we need some other things, with how much you have to pay offensive linemen right now and how inconsistent some of the large contract offensive linemen are, I wouldn't be that mad about it.
Yeah. And to talk about the Deshaun Watson thing, like, I'm on Over the Cap right now, just looking at his contract, and I still don't know exactly how this updates whenever I change it from cut pre-June 1 to cut post-June 1. But I know, like, even Jack Duff is talking about, well, now that we restructured last year, like, now it's a post-June 1 in 2027. But even if you go look at 2027, it's a almost $26 million dead cap. Like, we would be eating $25 million just to cut him. And then we're still paying him almost $17,000 the next year in 28 and $17 million. What am I saying? $8 million then in 2029. So I got a feeling there's a chance, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but there's a chance they restructure the contract again this year just to continue to lower that yearly cap hit and spread it out over more years, which would push it to 2028. Like, it's just... I don't know.
I think that's what you have to do. It's just like this never-ending cycle. So, I mean, does he see time then? Like, and who wants to? That gets me back to my original thought process. Who wants to deal with that?
Yeah,
Someone's got to be a big Deshaun Watson fan.
If we don't take a quarterback in the first round, I would assume that next year, because we don't really have veteran quarterback money, even if it's a lower budget veteran quarterback. The situation we'd be in would be Shedeur Sanders guaranteed for 6 to 7 games unless he's absolutely horrible. And then we'd be right back to Deshaun Watson. Like, that would be the look, because there's not another quarterback on the roster or probably available in our price range that would be worth doing something else.
Oh, I'm sure.
But if we're sitting 6 games in and Shedeur is bad, it's a losing season anyway. So why not?
We'll find somebody to waste a 4th round pick on or something.
I'm a season ticket holder right now. You're not selling me anything, man, because I'm like, I'm out of here. I don't want to pay nothing, and I don't want to go to this new place because I don't have a big shiny receiver. My quarterback sucks, and he should have been in jail. Blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? So not Shedeur. Talking about Deshaun, obviously, but I'm obviously, being like Johnny fan here.
Yes.
It's not what I believe, but that being said, Jimmy Haslam runs a business, and the business is to get season ticket holders in. And right now, all the moves that we're talking about isn't selling anybody anything, and there's going to be no excitement for next season. So they got to do something.
They do.
Yeah, I kind of agree on that.
They do. Well, Nate, is there anything else you want to say, ask, talk about real quick before we wrap it up here today?
I'm all set. Good luck in the fantasy matchup here this week.
Yeah, it's going to be a dogfight.
Who comes out better?
It's going to be.
I think this might be the first game in that league that I'm not projected to win. Like, I've been projected like a 60% win chance almost every week.
And I think I'm only projected to like maybe 4 points or something. I forget what it was, but it's not much. I don't have you projected or out projected by much. So yeah, good luck, man. We'll see how it goes.
It should be a good matchup.
Trash talking all weekend.
It'll be a dandy.
For sure.
All right,
Nate. Boys. Have a good one.
You too, buddy. We'll talk to you later.
Have a good one, bud.
All right. Well, thanks again to everybody who jumped in here today to watch the show live down here in the audience. You guys are rocking over in the chat, having conversations and throwing stuff out there. I appreciate that. That's always fun to be reading and seeing as you guys do that too. So make sure you join us. We got 2 more of these left, guys. We got 2 more preview shows. And, by the way, while I'm thinking about it, next week, this show, the Dog Pack Discord Live preview for the Steelers game, will be on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Not Thursday because that's Christmas, and not Wednesday because that's Christmas Eve. Like, I'm busy both days. It'll be Tuesday. So just remember that. I'll try to put it in here in Discord. Mark your calendars for that. But I'll remind everybody Tuesday morning. Kenny, anything else before we go?
Dude, just do something. I'm going to have to have my poking stick out and like do something.
Yeah, do something,
Browns. Hey, all the best to Miles, man. Get that record, get it done with, and just, if you have to coast for the rest of the year, whatever. But hey, do something, Browns. Come on, pull out of that tailspin and show that you put that tape out there for yourselves and play some football. Let's go.
Yeah, play some football because we haven't seen a whole lot of football being played by this team here recently. So hopefully, I don't know, hopefully they surprise us. I'm not optimistic. I think it's going to be a rough one again. But either way, we'll be with you guys 8 p.m. Eastern after the game Sunday night with our live reaction show. I think it'll just be me and Blake this week because Kenny and Justin are both going to be at the game and fighting all that post-game traffic and all that crap. So again, if you want to be part of these Discord lives in the future, join thedogs.com, sign up for the Patreon, become an official Dog Pack member, sync up with the Discord, hang out with everybody that you see here. And there's so many more that you don't see here that are in the Dog Pack or in the Discord all the time, chatting it up, having a great time. It's a great community. So join thedogs.com. We will see you guys Sunday night after what I project to be a blowout. But either way, we get to see the reigning MVP come in here. And hopefully Myles Garrett gets the sack record, like Kenny said. You guys get to witness history, and we get to quit worrying about whether or not he's going to get it. So, go Browns. We'll see you guys Sunday.
Go Brownies. Hoo, 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 hoo.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Dogs Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Twitter at The Dogs Podcast. Get your thoughts on the show at thedogspodcast.com.
This episode is sponsored by Kalshi. Browns fans, are you ready to put your money where your predictions are? With Kalshi, America's #1 regulated prediction market, you can legally trade on events that actually matter to you. And the best part is you don't need to predict specific stat lines and compile a 7-leg parlay just to win big. With Kalshi, the objective is either yes or no. Will the Browns win their game this week? Will Quinshon Judkins score a touchdown? Will Carson Schlesinger win Defensive Rookie of the Year? You can put your money on these predictions and more with Kalshi. If you want to try it out, all you have to do is sign up at kalshi.com/dogs. That's KALSHI.com/dogs, DAWGS, and trade $100. Get away from disadvantageous sportsbooks and dive into real-world outcomes with real-time odds and real payouts. Head over to kalshi.com/dogs or click the link in the description to get $20 when you trade $100 with Kalshi. Because why shouldn't you get paid for being right?
Marriott Bonvoy is the official hotel partner of US Soccer. Join Marriott Bonvoy today to get closer to the game with exclusive perks, unforgettable experiences, and benefits that go beyond the pitch. Spring Hill Suites, part of Marriott Bonvoy, offers complimentary hot breakfast and spacious all-suite accommodations, perfect for the whole team, with room for up to 6 guests. Make your next getaway a win. Learn more at springhillsuites.marriott.com.